is our happy birthday basket. So here's the cute little signs that go on it, and they come in 2 different colors. One's red and yellow, and one's yellow and red. So we're going to take our junk pieces of cellophane that we have left over and put it in the bottom to fill up the basket. You don't want the basket to have the ingredients down low, you want to see them. So most everything should be showing. We're going to fluff this a little bit so we don't have to use quite as much, and put it in the basket. And now you'll notice in the picture, things are going to look a little bit different in the picture that we took of the finished basket than they're actually going to look here. And so I'm going to show you, this is the version I am showing you, not the picture version, but the actual version. And so you're going to start with your largest objects first. So we'll put in the sweet bread, and then we're going to put in the bundt cake. And I'm going to turn the bundt cake kind of on its side and lean it back a little bit. There we go. And we'll put pretzel rods on one side, and we're going to put 2 turtles on the other side. And so I'm just trying to catch the very bottom of those, and I want to be able to see the Abby's and Ellie's labels. And then we've individually wrapped the cookies, and there's one of each kind of cookie that's going to go inside. And we think that the one with the red, the cranberry cookies, are the best looking, so we want the best looking cookie to be in the very first of it. In the front, on the front line. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add the tissue paper, and so we're doing the opposite colors. So this has an accent of yellow, so we're using yellow for the very background. I find the middle of the tissue paper, I scoop it up, and then I shake it. I don't want to touch the outside edges of it, because if I do, then it'll look all crumply and won't be a happy tissue paper for us. And then I want to see if I can get it as close to this top as I possibly can, because if I have it above the top, then it'll get caught up in the bow, and it won't look as good as it does if I can get it kind of down just a tiny bit lower. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put the cellophane on it. I like to clean out all the crumbs from the fill, because they're going to cling to the cellophane because it has static electricity. I'm going to pull it out. So people say, how do you know the exact amount to put out? Well, I want the bow to be about this much taller than the basket. Now, I used to think it mattered how big the basket was, how much stuff you wanted up on top, but I don't think that's the case. And so I come over here and I say, yep, that's just right. And then I'm going to pull this piece out a little bit. And then I take it and I hold on to it and I adjust it so I have the same amount on both sides. I'm going to crunch going up the side. I'm going to gather it up the side. There's that side. I'm going to gather up this side. And now to put the bow on it, I have Caitlin Smith, who is our retail manager here at the Orem store, and Kate is going to show you how to do a cute junk bow on this. Okay, there you go, Kate.
So what you want first is a long piece that you're going to tie everything together with. So in this case, I'm going to do a red one, and then all your junk pieces, it's called a junk bow because you're going to have about 3 to 5 different little pieces, about 5 inches long, of a bunch of different ribbons that correlate with your colors. So I'm going to get all my junk pieces together, and I'll tie the big ribbon around it first. And I'll just do this in a knot. And you want to make sure to hold the very top so it doesn't fall the cellophane, so it stays pretty tight. So that's just in a knot, and then I'm going to take the junk pieces and kind of grab the middle of them. And I'm going to put the middle right in there. And then I'm going to tie another knot on top of those. So now they're kind of tied in there. And since we are doing an ornament on this one, this is now where you put the ornament in. So I'm just going to string that right through, tie it in another knot, and then you're going to tie it in a bow and just straighten that a little bit. And you're going to fluff up your bow and then pull out all those junk pieces so you can kind of see all the different pieces you put in there. And then you are going to cut, let me grab some scissors, these long pieces to about that same length because you don't want them that long. And then just fluff it up and then price it and put a sticker on the front and you're done.
So as I stood back and looked at the basket, one of the things I didn't like was how low the bundt cake was in it. And so I took some of our fill and I put it right in there inside to make the bundt cake so it was coming up out of it. One thing I really like to do too is I think it's a great look if you can just, any little holes that you have, you might want to stick some of the fill in it. It makes it look really festive to have the fill sticking up out of it instead of all just down right in straight. So this one I'd probably take out that little piece right there that's clinging, but I like it sticking up out the sides. You might really enjoy taping this, and there are kind of two ways to do it. You can put your hand there and fold it over and make sure your tape is clear tape, not kind of foggy because the clear tape disappears. Or you could take it to the side and pull it down and then just put the piece of tape underneath. One thing I really like about the way Kate does junk bows is the way she chooses the other ribbons that are going to go with it. So Kate, kind of tell us what you look for when you're looking for ribbons so that you know what to put in a junk bow to make it look really good. Because obviously if you had the same size, the same color, it wouldn't be so cute.
Right. So what I look for, the ribbon that I tie everything together with is kind of just a neutral ribbon. So in this case it's just the sheer red, it's nothing too crazy. And then I tie in the textured ribbons. I like to have all different textures. So there's this one that's a little thinner, and then there's this bigger one, and then in the yellow there's all sorts of different textures. There's thin and thick. So that's really what makes it, I think, a lot cuter, is when you have all those different textures and sizes, but that still correlate with that color combo.